All right, Hunter, thanks for joining me today. Great to have you on. Excited about what's to come. But first and foremost, just wanted to give you a chance to introduce yourself and your band.
My name's Hunter. I sing for a band called Moodring, and we are a weird band from Florida and now Georgia. So,
That's a great description. I think that's what every listener is going to get out of listening to the old stuff and the new stuff coming out. And I know the reason you're here is we're working on some exciting track reveal for the site, but wanted to just kind of dive in a little bit on your anime experience. What's your experience as a fan?
um, damn, that's a broad question. I mean, I've got a freaking 6 foot poster of Broly to the left of me in my studio. So every day I wake up and I look in the mirror and I say, "How can I be more like Broly today?" Um, I'm just kidding, but no. I've been into it for a really long time. Like, I'm older than most people currently getting into anime, so I was exposed to like a lot of like the 90 90s classics, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, um, Gundam, Dragon Ball, etc. All the big like Toonami names, and then like later like Ava and so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a part of my life and my culture for an extremely long time.
Yep,
So
and I mean you've got the hair for Broly, so I think you've made step one in terms of how can I be like Broly.
we could do it. I've kind of got the Shoto hair going on right now a little bit, or like yeah, just a tad. So
Or what was that ice guy from Yu Yu Hakusho that had the like blue streaks? You're almost there. I can't remember his
dude,
name, but
me neither. It's been literally 15 years, but yeah,
and your cat, one of your cats is also named after a Dragon Ball
both
Super
of them
character. Both of them,
are well. So the little chunky one's name is Champa. Obviously, it's
obviously.
Beerus's brother, but Migi, my other cat, is Migi from Parasite. So
Oh, awesome.
because she's a sphinx and hairless and disgusting, and she's like gelatinous body horror. So what a better name.
That's perfect. I had never made that connection until you just called that out.
Yeah, it's definitely the more subtle one, but yeah, maybe I messed up with not doing Beerus and Champa, but whatever.
The next cat.
No more cats
Yeah.
ever.
And is there? This is another loaded, broad question, but out of the ones that you've watched, out of what you've grown up with, do you have a favorite?
Ooh. I mean, all time Neon Genesis, all day. You know, nothing like existential dread to fuel your life with.
Yeah,
That's a that's the all time, and then more lighthearted like DBZ all day.
yeah.
I
You
tried
can't go
to.
wrong.
You can't go wrong. It's a little weird like going back to it now, especially like so when I grew up with it, with the Faulkner soundtrack. You know, I'm
Mm.
used to the ripping guitar solos and all the tension. So now with the original Japanese music, it's definitely a lot different, and there's a massive cultural divide there between the two. Like I can't imagine being a kid and like watching the Cell Saga without the Faulkner soundtrack, but I just did it recently and it was different. It was a lot different. So
Yeah, it
like I
it
spent.
changes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I just was saying I recently just rewatched all the not canon movies again, and it was still awesome. So
Yeah, that is kind of a nice segue too, because your music I feel like would fit right into the soundtrack of Lord Slug.
we're definitely inspired by a lot of I don't know. It makes a lot of sense. So the three of us have been Duran Gray fans for a long time, so that translates. And I don't know. I like a lot of Japanese bands like the Gazette and Maximum, obviously, especially with us being a more new metal leaning band. So we definitely pull influence from that and like that VK scene in general. So
Yeah, and the even just the English soundtrack that had the different soundtrack had like Deftones and Finger
even
Eleven
better,
and
yeah. Well, dude, the first Broly movie had Pantera in it. Or, like
Yeah.
when he goes Super Saiyan the first time, it plays the song Tens, and I remember being a kid being like, "This is the most, this is nuts," you know. It was awesome.
Yeah, it fits so well, and I think that's what made us want to come together is like your music fits really well with just this vibe and this scene, and like you brought up Neon Genesis Evangelion. I feel like that's the official series of heavy music, just people being sad and having breakdowns. But has anime made its way into your songwriting process at all?
Anime has made its way into our songwriting, especially with the newer music. So we focused on it, and I wrote, workshop some ideas with friends who are also, into anime, and we talked about like more popular chord structures and, J rock and stuff like that as well. So it 100% has.
And does that bleed over into kind of the overall aesthetic of the bands, like when it comes to music videos, album covers? Is it just something you're kind of like trying to capture the feeling of and put it in a way that works for you?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously we've dabbled in it with like merchandise and stuff like that. But we always walk this weird line, especially as American music listeners, where we like to pigeonhole everything. It's not like that anywhere else. Like here, this has to have a label right here, right now. It can't be anything else. So it's very hard. So if we are dabbling in anime stuff and we're promoting more anime looking stuff, we'll do it. We'll get out, and then we'll come back being like, yo, by the way, we're still weebs, and then we'll come back again. Just to not get too stuck in it, because at the same time we want to be our own individual human beings with our own musical identity.
Right. Like it's something that you like, not something that you are. And I think
Yeah,
you
for sure.
I think y'all walk that line really well. Like you just capture so many different looks, different feelings. Like the tracks are broad, and then the tracks at the same time are like I'm punching someone right now.
It's a blessing and a curse. People can be very confused by what we are as a band, but at the same time I think that's cool. And it doesn't help in the short term because again, it's hard for people to like just stick a label on it that isn't, you know, it's this band. Well, if you listen to one more song, it's not.
Right.
So, but like I hope that that pays dividends in the future.
For sure, I feel like it will. And you mentioned at the beginning, like you're in a weird band. You just mentioned labels and stuff, but I would love to hear kind of a bit of how you viewed your progression as a band from like the first EP till the last full length Stargazer to kind of what's coming up.
So, with the first EP, Showing the Real You, a lot of that, the majority of that EP is just a, version of me that is a bit younger, very sad in my room, writing sad relationship songs. If not, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe them. They're more like on the grungy side, if anything. I was really into that. Still am, but that's where I was currently. I wasn't too concerned with, heaviness or anything like that. Um, After it came out, it did decently well on its own. And we did, when we started writing for Stargazer, I just knew I wanted to expand on what I had already done, but like with the others who are now like much more involved. Um, I just kind of did everything there, but turned it up a notch and then added a bunch of new elements as well with Stargazer. And I think that like Stargazer compared to Show Me is like the sadness is turned up to 11. Um, but the sadness isn't like, oh, I'm upset over a relationship. The sadness is like dread, as opposed. I mean, um, and then we got to experiment with a ton of new sounds and work in person with our producer a lot more on that record. And when it comes to this newer music that we're gearing up towards, it's a different animal. Like it's just writing from different perspectives, like not focusing on writing a song for the sake of vocals, but just writing a song that could be badass if there weren't vocals on it, and all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah. And what can you tell us about Black Wave specifically? Is there anything new that you tried, or is it heavier, or just anything along those lines?
I would say to date, it's probably the heaviest song we put out. Um, it is the weirdest for sure. Um, I think that new Moodring has a lot more energy than old Moodring does in general. Um, whether that energy is sadness, anger, your typical musical emotions, it is just like way more driving. Like the music is going forward, it's not stopping till it's over. There's a lot less meandering around, and we're not sitting around like focused on creating an atmosphere anymore. It's more like, all right, we're gonna play this song now. And so it's cool. I think Black Wave is pretty visceral, especially considering the type of band we are. I think that even though we are a rock band with primarily like singing vocals, I think that we could play with bands twice as heavy as us, and that song could hold its own to others. So
Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear it live with that description, because it's like, I don't know, it's like you were creating the atmosphere with the earlier tracks, and now it's raining, like it's condensed into water, and it's now pouring down rain, and it's hitting hard.
yeah, I feel the same way, and I'm glad that you do too.
And I know you've mentioned like dabbling in other areas and bringing the anime aesthetic to the band. Do you find that at live shows, like you see a lot of like-minded people, other anime fans? Do you see people Naruto running in the pit? Like, do you bring that kind of energy?
I don't think we bring that energy. Um, I think it's more of like a if you know you know thing. Like you know that we're about it, we know that you're about it, but there's no. I know I've never seen any Naruto running in the pit yet. Um,
Yet, keyword.
yet. I mean, it's people are gonna watch this and make it happen though. I guarantee it. So I'm here for it. If
Call
you're
to the
having fun,
fans.
hey, if you're having fun, I'm having fun. You can do whatever you want. So
Love it. And maybe that kind of leads into the next question is you kind of, I think we've both probably seen across the heavy music scene. We talked about Neon Genesis Evangelion. We've talked about the merchandise. It seems like a lot of anime fans and heavy music fans kind of gravitate together, that there's such a strong overlap between those two fandoms. Do you have any thoughts on why that might be?
Uh, probably just because they invoke similar emotion. I mean, in extreme music, like of course you're just dealing with the cliches, like the generally the extremes. It's a lot of the drama of it, and I think that's probably the similarity that they share. I speaking for myself, when I listen to something, I want to hear something that invokes emotion, whether that be pain, anger, dread, something is so heavy it makes me laugh, like joy. Like literally, I think heavy music is comedy, in a good way. How many times have you heard something, a riff or a breakdown that was just so sick you busted out laughing? You know what I mean? Same difference with like, other forms of media. I think that they have shared qualities because of that. Like it's just they both are there to invoke emotion. So generally not good ones either.
But it helps you get them out. Like it helps you process, or it helps
Yeah,
you
definitely.
feel that and to move on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every single time I watch Neon Genesis, I don't know what I process. I go into the sunken place for a couple days and then come back out. So
But that's
yeah,
that's it. Yeah, it takes you down, and then when you're done, it's like, all right, we're done here. Moving on. Happy times.
I'm gonna go drink some water and
Yeah,
take a nap. I don't know.
right.
Yeah, I feel you.
And out of your fandom, I mean, I see you've got a lot of tattoos. Do you have any anime tattoos for any of the shows that you like?
I don't. I don't have a single one actually. Um, especially with my girlfriend being a anime tattooer, that's kind of crazy. Um, we're supposed to work on a bunch of stuff though. She's covered. Her entire arm is Levi Ackerman. So, um,
That's a good.
and
That's
then
a good one.
yeah, of course, There's a Levi body pillow about 6 feet away from me. So, um, yeah, no, I definitely want to. I wanted to get a big Broly on my entire shin, but I want him holding Mystic Gohan's head because I cannot stand Mystic Gohan. I think it's the biggest letdown of all time. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
That's interesting. What about Mystic Gohan don't you like?
It's driven me crazy since I was a kid. Well, also he just comes in, he does his thing. He's supposed to just wipe the floor with Boo, and then he doesn't, and he's cocky, and then from there on out he's weak, and is a mathematician, and they change or a scientist, and they change the narrative around him to be oh, he doesn't want to fight, he has a family, he's got a job. The Chi-Chi version of Gohan becomes real.
Mhm.
um Massive waste. Like teen Gohan, kid Gohan, awesome. Mystic Gohan, get him out of here, because it's like the last glimpse you see of him. I mean, obviously up until the stuff that's happening in Super currently, but yeah, I don't know. I want Mystic Gohan's severed head on my body. So I gotta drive that point home.
Yeah, that's serious letdown. Like I know it seemed like that loss kind of broke him, but you're really breaking him.
Oh yeah, dude, I broke me as a child watching it for the first time. I couldn't believe it. I then, in the '90s, I was like, really, we're doing Goku and Vegeta again? Like this is what's happening again? And so here we are, 20 years later, still going on. So nah.
We sort of got his return to form in the movie, at least.
I want to see more of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need more of it. I'm on the fence, just to be 100% honest.
Well, hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully they'll write more of Beast into everything because it's
Well, yeah, they are currently. Um, the special beam cannon was cool. I'll give them
yeah,
that. That was like full homage. Piccolo's your real dad.
yeah.
So no, it was definitely cool.
Yeah, that was the number one analysis I saw of the special beam cannon moment was dad, their true dad emerges.
Yeah, you stop using the Kamehameha wave, go straight to special beam cannon. It's over.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
it was cool for sure. Not a big fan of what's going on with Goten and Trunks right now either, but we shall see the development.
I haven't
So
read ahead. I'm scared to read ahead because I just don't want to know what happens because it's so cool to watch in an animated form. But two, I'm just like, well, what's gonna happen? Like, where can we go from here?
you're probably right. I probably should stop reading ahead on that. On just at least with Super. Maybe I will. So I generally do like it better animated to begin with. With that one, like with that anime in particular.
Yeah,
So
it hits like a good breakdown. Like it just hits. You can feel those punches, and
it
there's a character named Hit.
yeah, dude, Hit is awesome. Um, Hit is a cool character. I will say this: one of the things I wasn't let down by was the Chainsaw Man animation. So I had
Yeah,
read it so long ago, and then I'm up to date with it constantly. But when it came out, I was like, "This is awesome." So sitting with my girlfriend and my roommate while it was airing, I just kept saying over and over again, "You have no idea, like you have no idea what's coming." So
yeah. Is that one of your more recent favorites? Have you been watching anything else lately?
that's definitely a more recent favorite for me for sure. What else? Keeping up with My Hero as it was coming out. Obviously, I think it's done now. Um, but I mean, not done. But obviously, the season is over. Still reading the manga as well as that comes out. Um, I like the arc that they're involved in right now. Like Dark Deku arc was cool. Um, really, really, really before that, the League of Villains arc, so sick. Um, I like Shigaraki a lot. I'm a villains guy, so I'll just put it that way. Like, not even in terms of just My Hero, but just in terms of anime across the board, the villain is like generally 99. times cooler than the protagonist. And I don't know, you give me a cool villain, I'm probably gonna like it. So
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, why do I like Dragon Ball? It's villains, you know. Frieza is sick. Cell is sick. Broly, the sickest thing to ever exist. Yeah, I don't know. It's especially My Hero. I personally am of the opinion that all the villains are cooler than the heroes. So I know that's messed up, but yeah.
that gives fans some insight into what's going on when you're writing these Moodring songs. I think it will
Oh
help
yeah,
explain a lot of things.
it's real villain hours out here, especially Blackwave. Um, I'm trying to think. On the lighter side, I just finished Spy Family. And that was nice. So that was a it was a nice, easy watch.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
enjoyed that.
adorable, wholesome, fun, funny.
I really hope they end it with them not actually ending up together, so the entire fandom is like just destroyed and it shatters. And I could see it happening. So, um, another recent favorite of mine is, I mean, everyone in the entire world who watches anime feels this way probably, but JJK is huge on my list, and I keep up with JJK reading wise too. So,
Yeah, that's one I'm scared to read because the anime is so perfect that I'm
oh,
just like,
it's
this is how to experience it.
you're not wrong. Um, Several weeks of me going, what is even happening? You know, I think when it's animated, I'll be like, oh, okay, like I understand now. But yeah, that's that's high up there on my list as well.
Are you gonna watch Hell's Paradise?
I will wait for reviews. I usually let people like around me like consume something first that I trust their opinion of, and then get back to me. We've been, you know, have incredibly busy lives and are constantly doing stuff. So if enough people come to me being like, "This is awesome," I'll do it. You know, I also have people who'll be honest with me and be like, "It's, don't do it. It's not for you." So
I'm
yeah.
I'm thinking you'll like it if you like JJK and you like Chainsaw Man. Like it's the third of that dark trio of titles, so I feel like it's up your alley in that sense. So I'll be the first. Hopefully, I'm trusted enough to give you that recommendation.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. So
Perfect.
yeah.
And for Chainsaw Man, something they did that's interesting that I'd love to hear your thoughts on is the different song with every ending.
So sick. Um, Really enjoyed that, especially when they got to the Maximum song. I was
Mm-hmm.
really hyped on that. Been a Maximum fan for a really long time. I mean, a really long time now. I mean, I guess since Death Note. Um, and the song they put out was super cool. Reminds me a lot of like kind of what I see happening in our group of friends, like shifting towards just I don't know, just chaos and just like kind of assaulting like electronic sounds and stuff too. Like I thought it was super cool. And I think to branch out and to do a different outro song for everything is just like it gives a lot of people like opportunity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can sum up the vibe of an episode with different stuff. I mean, like for instance, how many episodes of something have you watched and it's the same outro song at least for that arc? Someone brutally dies and then it's the happiest song you ever heard in your life right after it. Like that doesn't
Right.
work. So I think it's cool. There's a solution to that.
Agreed. Like it gives it more purpose because I know this is sacrilege in some corners, but a lot of people do end up skipping the outros and skipping the intros to get to the content. But with Chainsaw Man, especially, like it was
Oh, I'll let it
unskippable.
rock. Yeah, let it
Yeah.
rock. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I don't generally skip just because I don't know when the songs will change. When do they switch to the new songs? And then I like the songs generally. I generally like the music and anime. Um, I'll let it ride out. Also, it means I don't have to move and grab a remote means I can sit there and
Let
then we're on to the
autoplay do
next.
its thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I also like that they got TK for one of them. I feel like he's underrated, but his kind of whole like almost post-hardcore vibe is kind of right in this sweet spot of what the fans love.
For sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see them start to use bands like, I don't know, like Pale Dusk and a lot of the younger bands coming up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone knows like Crystal Lake and Pale Dusk, but I think Pale Dusk will definitely, you'll start seeing a lot more of that soon. One of my friends actually works on their music, so
Oh
I'm
wow.
super excited. Yeah, I'm super excited for that band.
Yeah, they are great and they're just absolute chaos. It would be perfect. Like there's so many titles that could potentially get adaptations that they would just fit so well with.
Yeah, and they do everything, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just, what do you need? Oh, cool. Well, here's all those things in one song. Um, Omerta is our version of that.
Yeah. I would agree
So
with that.
especially new Omerta, and I am Team Omerta all day.
Yeah, I see
So
you're wearing the Omerta shirt.
hell yeah, man! You gotta represent the homies. Um, Good friends of ours, good friends of the studio in general. And I'm very very happy for the new era because I've been hearing the demos of it for years now, and I'm ready for the actual versions to come out. I don't know. People are not going to know what to think, and that's my favorite part about it. So
Yeah, and that kind of lines up with your interpretation of anime too. Sometimes just people don't know what to think. People are unsure of what they just saw, but they know that they like it or should like it.
yeah, it's yeah, different strokes for different folks, man. Like it or don't. You know what the beautiful thing about the world is that I personally believe that more people should adapt to is you don't have to like everything. Like people are at such odds all the times on differing opinions. Man, there's plenty of stuff that I don't like that you could like. It does not bother me.
Mhm.
I'm happy you like it. You know, not everything is for everyone. I'm very aware that Moodring / Blackwave is definitely not for everyone. It's a very polarizing song for some of our fans.
Mhm.
But there's gonna be a bunch of people here for the first time and are like, damn, this is heavy. Like, or this has more energy. And I didn't like Moodring before because it didn't have enough. Now it's here. So I'm just excited about the future of music in general. I think the way everything is moving is very unique, and I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it almost already feels like dystopian, and I think that's a very cool thing.
Yeah, and that people are just kind of doing their thing, like you mentioned. They're not sticking to, well, I'm a metalcore band, so I have to follow this strong song structure, or I'm a deathcore band, so I have to do pig
Yeah,
squeals.
that's so boring, man. I mean, just do whatever you want whenever you want. That's kind of been our MO from the jump, you know? If you listen to Stargazer, it says, one of the heavier songs on the record, Red Light Gossip, goes directly into the softest song on the record, Peel, or not the softest, but the poppiest. And um, maybe we're not doing as much juxtaposition currently as we were on that record because maybe we found what we like doing a little bit more. Um, but at the same time, if we want to make a different style of song, we always leave the room open to be able to do so.
And I think that's what makes the band so special is that you can get kind of everything that you want and everything that you need out of any release, because there is something for everyone on there because you're just making what you want to make.
Right. I think that I don't know, if you're a band, just make what you want to make. Like, don't write it for someone else.
Right. Agreed.
I just watched that Low the audio tree thing the other day, where literally it opens by saying like make music for yourself and not to um to make it because it won't work, and they are right. I have tried to make music to make it before. It doesn't work. So they're very correct.
Yeah, and I think that's also kind of to bring it full circle, like that is the fun thing about bringing these two fandoms together is like fans of heavy music can find their subgenres or their one band that does something that they've never heard or seen before. And that's kind of the same with anime, is you can watch a show that is unlike anything you've ever seen or doesn't make sense or is about a guy with a chainsaw on his head, and you're just like, this is for me. I don't know if this is for anybody else. And then you start to find people that are like, oh, this is for them too, and they also like this stuff. So just like bringing those groups together is like helping people express themselves in such a unique and fun way.
Yeah, I can agree even on a more, closer to a cellular level. Like when my studio partner and girlfriend finished reading Chainsaw or like caught up, I was so excited because like, oh, we can finally talk about this. Like I've been by myself, on forums reading what other people thought about, and now there's like people who inhabitat like the cohabitat. I don't even know what word I'm trying to say. Who live in the same house as me, who have a shared interest that we can actually communicate with now. It was very cool. So, and I do get to talk with like people who listen to the band about anime a lot too. They'll see us like drop a shirt or do something, and they'll come to the page to talk about it or message me directly, and it's always fun. I always like hearing people's other perspectives because a character I despise and can't wait to get killed off like could be their favorite thing in the world, and they have a different reason for why. And I think that all the different mixed proponents and views is very cool.
Yeah, especially for you with your love of villains. I can't imagine there's all that many people that you meet that are agreeing with you.
Nah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I mean, I like Denji, but because Denji is not really a hero, he's just
No.
kind of there. He's there for two things. One of them's food, and we won't talk about the other one. So
Yeah, he's every like teen going through puberty.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
On a more lighthearted side, I'll try to switch over to some kind of quick hitting questions. You can go as in depth or as quick as you want. Some of them might be easier, some of them might be more difficult.
Awesome.
All right, I know you've mentioned a few, but top 3 series of all time.
All time. All right. Neon Genesis, DBZ. I'm gonna throw JJK in there because I already love it that much, and I think between the first season and JJK Zero, I don't think it's gonna get bad. I've read ahead, so if nothing bad happens with the story, it's flawless. So
Yeah.
I'll leave that. People are gonna make fun of me. I don't care.
I mean, it's been long enough where I think recency bias can be ruled out for the adaptation.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I feel like it came out 6 months ago, but it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable.
Whoa. Okay, that just messed me up. All right. All right.
Top 3 favorite characters of all time.
Broly for the billionth time. Not Mystic Gohan. Damn, these are loaded. These must be rapid fire, but I'm like, damn, this hurts. I'm gonna go Vegeta. I'm just naming the same people over and over again. They all have the exact same qualities. Shigaraki.
That's a solid group.
Yeah. Bad dudes.
Yeah. Are you considering Vegeta a hero or a villain in this context?
He's like an anti-hero. You know what I mean? He's there for selfish reasons. So
Yeah.
he's very neutral. He wasn't very great at being before meeting, the Z Squad, he was a great villain, but obviously like he doesn't do too well in the show.
Yeah.
So I like the underdog. So not only do I like villains, I do like the underdog, but I like the underdog when you don't spend, you know, 3 arcs crying to get powerful. So
Right.
yeah, well, just go to the gym, dude. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Go to the gravity chamber and fight with your son in there.
Such a sick scene though.
Yeah, that was like that was just as a kid growing up like this is amazing. How do I do this?
It literally, I still reference going into my studio to work as I'll be upstairs, be like, hey, I'm going into the hyperbolic time chamber. I'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow. So it's very cool.
I can imagine you're working and you're like, it's got to be a year that's passed. You look down, it's only 1 a.m.
There, before we moved, we were trying to catch up a lot on work, and at one point, Brandon and I had realized that we had not been outside in almost 2 weeks. I had not seen the sun for 2 weeks. So there are no windows. There are no windows in here. We are just in it. And what feels like an hour in here, like working, is actually probably closer to 6. So we have fixed that unhealthy thing. We at least leave the house once a day now.
That's
So
good growth.
yeah, we're trying. Vitamin D.
Okay, favorite opening and favorite ending songs.
Ooh. Opening of all time, What's Up People, Maximum the Hormone, Death Note, the second part. Untouchable. Um Absolutely untouchable. Especially with like how much, I mean, I don't know. Moodring's kind of a glorified new metal band. I mean, that's just there it is. Mm, Ending is really hard. There's so many. And they're all so much more sentimental. Like they're not like they're not like bangers like openers are, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm here for the bangers. Um So I can give you another opener if that helps. That Fear and Loathing song from Parasite. That song's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a ripper.
Crazy song. Um, the Rumbling, I think that's the name of it. The Sim song.
Hmm.
Song's cool. I like that one too.
Yeah, that one works so well for the overall theme. Like you said, getting people fired up as an opener, like that's
Yeah,
what they're there for.
it's so cinematic and like climactic. So I think for season 4 part 6 million, it worked really well.
Yeah. And last rapid fire question, I guess if I can call it a rapid fire question. If Moodring could do an opening song for any series, where do you think you'd fit best?
Chainsaw Man, pretty easily. I think we could do really well with Chainsaw Man. Um, because we could adapt to it pretty well.
Mhm.
Um, I want to say JJK, but JJK is like has like the really slick, classic J rock thing going on, and then the funky. Oh, dude! Back to the last question. I forgot about that. The first JJK outro. Oh, what is that song called?
Lost in Paradise.
Dude, that song rips. That song is actually so sick, and I'll non-ironic. Without the show, I'm just listening to that song. It's awesome. Um, that needs to be more readily available to me at all times.
Yeah.
Um, it just feels good. Yeah, Lost in Paradise is incredible. Um, Back to the aforementioned question. Yeah, I'd love to do Chainsaw Man. Anything that we could like lean into like the heavier and weirder bits of our band. So I think that would be cool. Um, yeah, I feel good with that answer.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like the dark, gritty shonen is just like the perfect avenue.
That's what we need. I mean, we could do some romance stuff too. We just, a show me the real you type banger, just real sexy song to get it started. But I'd rather lean into the darker shonen style stuff, like you said.
And a side note, Lost in Paradise is like the official karaoke song whenever we all go to karaoke as a group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just so fun to belt out, and then the rap parts, no one really knows what to do.
Yeah, you're like, what is this? That's fun. I like that a lot.
And I guess I lied. I got one more. What would you like new fans to look out for when it comes to the new release Black Wave?
What do you mean by that?
So like if we got a lot of viewers and listeners and readers that may not have heard of Moodring before, and you're saying this is a new direction for the band or leaning more into one of the areas that you've always wanted to go, what would you tell those new listeners to kind of be prepared for when it comes to experiencing Moodring?
It's definitely, this is a darker take on our band for sure. So every single band ever is like, it's our darkest, most heaviest material yet. It's the most mature. But I can pretty confidently say that's true with us this time around. We're also not on our 5th album telling you that to get you to buy it. We're just doing whatever we want to do. It's dark. It's literally, the song is about like losing control, like, and just becoming this like unstoppable creature and taking over someone else and manipulating their psyche and body. And I think that subject matter, like this imaginary thing called the black wave, consuming you, is super cool. The riffs are super heavy. It's everything we've done but turned up to 10. And I think that if you're hearing it for the first time, just know there's more of that coming. So
that's exciting to look forward to. And does that play into the music video at all? Because I know we're also premiering the music video on Crunchyroll. And was there anything in that direction or in the day or however long it took to shoot that was kind of to foil the song?
I threw up this black substance onto 3 of their heads. I won't give away the secret sauce is, but yeah, no, I got to create a lot of black. We're calling it a goop. So the joke of the day was I'm lost in the goop because there was just so much of it all over the place. So yeah, that was the black wave getting on them. it was awesome. But yeah, we worked with our friend Bobby out of Flux Studios for the first time on that video, and we had a wonderful experience. And he's so good at his job. So, and also he had a million interns who were high school or maybe slightly older, and they all were getting into film, and they were super helpful. And I walked up and I saw a bunch of kids way younger than us, and I thought, today's gonna be a really weird day. Like, I'm gonna be singing this really dark song and throwing up, goop on everyone. And sure enough, they were very into it, thought it was super sick, and were like really encouraging all day. And it felt validating. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm really just excited to get new music out. That's just the bottom line of it.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear it. It feels kind of like JJK, like it feels like it was just a couple months ago that Stargazer came out, but really it's been over a year at this point. So it's like we've just been waiting with bated breath to see what's coming, and very glad to have this new single.
This is different and new, and I appreciate Crunchyroll coming alongside us to help us put it out.
Of course. And for fans watching, reading, listening, you can check out the single right now on Crunchyroll on our site. There should be a link attached to this video. And be sure to check it out and let us know what you think about it. Hunter, thanks so much for joining us today. It was great to talk to you about anime and Broly.
Yeah, I love Broly. I'm gonna get memed. They're just gonna send me pictures of my head on Broly, being like, "This is the only thing this guy can talk about." So,
Send in your
I appreciate it
Photoshops,
so much.
everybody.
Sorry. No, you can send them in. It's fine.
All right. thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out the single. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you so much.